Yo, what's up guys? Holding Alice with you here, bringing you the Promised Neverland anime review. This is episode 5, titled 301045. Now, we have a lot to discuss in this episode. For one, it continued with Ray and Norman talking, and Ray sat down on the bed laughing, and he admitted to Norman that he is the traitor for Mama, and he's the one been leaking information to her after he already got caught by Norman. And he was trying to deny it at first, but Norman told Ray that I told 3 people about this plan, but the truth is I lied to you. I only told you about this plan, so it had to be you that betrayed us, not Don or Gilda. So he felt pretty stupid, so that's when he sat down and started laughing, and he admitted that he was a traitor and stuff. And they had continued their conversation, and basically Norman wanted Ray to promise him 3 things. One is to feed Mama false information. I forgot what number 2 was. And number 3 was to escape with them. And in turnaround, he kind of manipulated Norman, and he turned it around and he was like, I'll only help you if you could promise me 2 things. And he's like, okay, what is it? He's like, 1, you're going to I forgot what the first one was, but the most important thing was, it was about Emma, and he was like, you have to lie to Emma, because when we escape, we're not taking all the kids. And Norman is like, what? And he's like, yeah, you have to lie to Emma. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. He's like, nope. If you don't promise that, I'm not helping. And Norman got real shocked, but he promised it, and Ray went up to him with a creepy face and was like, you're not lying, are you? And he was like, don't worry, believe me, I'm not lying. He was like, okay, you better not be. And, they split their ways and whatever. And as Ray leaves the room, Norman sits on top of the desk and he starts to shake, and he's holding his mouth and he's like, what have I done? Because he knows if he goes through with this, Elma's not ever going to forgive him for leaving some kids behind and not taking all of them like they're supposed to. And that's hurting him badly because he knows that Elma would never talk to him again or like him. And Emma's the girl he has his dreams. He likes her. So he doesn't want that to happen. So it's pretty sad that these kids are going through all this and this emotional stuff. Especially what's gonna happen now. Things are just crazy, but it gets even worse because when Ray leaves and he closes the door after we have Norman talking to him, doing that emotion where he's panicking, scared, and he's thinking, we see Ray outside, and he's thinking with the door closed, and he has this sinister face, really, really sinister, as you see in my thumbnail. Most likely that's gonna be my thumbnail. And Ray's my favorite character. But Ray leaves, and he looks at this picture on the wall, and there's 3 little girls on that picture. Now, I was thinking, who could these 3 little girls be? I mean, one could be Connie, but who's the other 2? But later on in the episode, it makes sense who those little girls are. But I'm not going to say who yet. But after that, we find out that Ray, he leaves, and he starts going to his mama's room. And he went to mama's room, and he's reporting to her information. And we find out that he's been her lapdog for 6 years. And he demanded, I gave you information. I had to deal with Sister Chrome and extra hassle. You all gonna put up your end of the bargain and give me what I've requested. So we find out that Ray is doing it for 2 reasons. 1, to protect himself, which in turn can protect his friends. And 2, every time he succeeds in telling Mama some information, he gets rewarded for it. So, but we don't know exactly what he gets rewarded. We know his items. We're not sure what he's doing with his items or what the items are. So, but he did discuss later on after that sequence with Mama some stuff. So, it's a very confusing thing. I had to watch the episode 2 or 3 times. The dialogue between Norman and Ray is super heavy. It actually takes up the first half of the episode, to be honest. Then after all that, we switch to the next morning. And Ray just keeps getting better because he chose Emma. Because these 3, Ray, Emma, and Norman, they leave the group to discuss in the forest. They plan to go ways. And Emma asks Norman, did you get to find out who the traitor was? And Ray comes out of nowhere, oh yeah, it's me. And Emma's like, huh? Huh? What? And she starts like freaking out and stuff, and it was just a hilarious scene between the three. And he explained to her why and stuff like that. And then she brings up, it must be hard for you to betray your family and stuff and see them go. And he's like, he ain't saying anything, he's just silent. Then Emma brings up a really, really good point that this surprises me because I didn't even think about this. And Norman, he was shocked because he didn't even think about it. Emma asks Ray, did you ever had to sacrifice other kids for us to, not get shipped off? And he stood real quiet. He got real scared. And Emma, from his his reaction, she already knew the answer was yes. So she's like, you know what? I'm going to answer that. And she's like, I forgive you. And then she went up to Ray and she grabbed his hand with both hands, shaking at first, but then when she grabbed him, she started squeezing his hand and she gives him this sinister face and she's like, don't ever do that again. And Ray was like, okay. And then as they, finished talking and they walked back, he starts shaking his hand. He was like, yeah, Emma was really upset today. And Norman just looks at him and was like, of course she was, because you had sacrificed other kids to keep us here. Which means there were other kids that were probably smarter than Ray and Norman, but they got shipped off because Ray snitched on them to get them off, or traded their place value for them to get shipped off first before Emma and Norman. So Ray's been, even though he's a snitch and a watchdog, he's been helping him out along the way too, so gotta give him props where props is due. And we also have Gayla and Don kind of upset that these three are always talking on their own and not bringing them into the plan. But then later on that night, they end up going to, discussing between the five of them that when they can't find Mama at 8 o'clock at night and 8 o'clock in the morning, it's because there has to be a hidden room somewhere in the house that she's hiding. And that's probably where she's getting her information and making calls to the bosses and stuff like that. And her and Emma and Gayla was the one to find this out. And they told Norman, Ray, and Don. And Don got super happy. He's like, hey, now we can sneak into this room and find information on our sisters and brothers that got kidnapped before, and we can save them and stuff like that. And he didn't play brothers and sisters. He said Connie specifically, because that was the one he was the closest to. But Ray shut him down and was like, no, because that's just the boss to the main HQ, and we don't know what type of security codes they have to even reach the line through them. We don't even know what type of security that room has. It's too dangerous and risky. We all get caught. We could all die right then and there. Just too big of a risk to take. And Don got really, really upset because everybody agreed with Ray, but nobody agreed with him. So he felt like, like nobody really cared to even bother to search for information. So he stormed out the room upset, and Gayla, she followed. And guess what he ends up doing? Don, being the idiot, ends up deciding, I'm going to ignore Ray and Norman and Emma, who have the 3 highest scores that we know of so far, and he's going to go sneak into the room. So he sneaks in, and Gayla, instead of stopping him, she ends up doing the same stupid thing and follows him. Luckily, Mama wasn't in the room. So they went in, closed the door behind them, and they found the 3 bookshelves on the right side next to Mama's table. So they should find a way to see if they can open it and all. And he was getting, Don was getting real upset because he was trying to see if there was like a special way to move the books or hit the shelves or push them or whatever. But no matter what he tried, nothing happened. So he just ended up banging on the thing, and he was really upset. And Gayla was like, let me try. And she started examining like the sides of the wall to see if this was a push in or a push out. And she realized that it was a slide in. That one bookshelf sliding to the other bookshelf of the back part. And when she did that, boom, a door appeared. And Don was super happy. He was like, thanks, Gayla, now we found the door. Now we can get the information we want. Of course, that wasn't that easy, because when he went to open the door, it was locked. And at the same time that they found out it was locked, the other door that they just came into just opened. So either that's Mama coming back or Sister Chrome, one of the two. Either or, that was the end of the episode, and things are not looking good for them. If they would have listened to Ray in the first place, none of this would have happened, but it is what it is. Really good episode of The Promised Neverland, episode 5. If you have not watched it, I advise you to watch it. If you already watched it, go watch it again. Great episode. The Norman and Ray stuff was kind of confusing. It took up mostly the first half of the episode, like 10 minutes or so. But it was real dialogue heavy. That's one of the issues with The Promised Neverland, I guess you could say, when you're reviewing it, whether it's the manga or the anime. It's dialogue heavy, so it takes a lot longer than other animes and mangas. But it doesn't really bother me because I like it a lot, and I've been waiting for it to have its anime, so here it is. But great episode, great stuff. Don and Gayla, all I have to say is you should have listened. That's what happens when you're unreasonable and you don't really listen to people and try to get the whole information in the story. You end up doing stupid mistakes like them and you jump the gun and basically they're gonna get caught. Unless they do something like hide under the table and Mama just goes in to get something and leaves. I mean, that could be a basic trope. That could basically happen. Who knows, but maybe they hide under the table or something. You know, Mama does have a table on the other side. With a cloth, so maybe they hide under there together. And she doesn't realize they're there and she sneaks down into the basement, and then maybe then when she goes down to the basement, they get under from out the table or chair or whatever, and then go behind the door and leave as well. Either or they could just end up getting caught and getting sent to death row, who knows. But great episode. Enjoyed it a lot. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. Follow me on Twitter. I'm usually active there. The link will be down in the description. And yeah, guys, that's all I have for you guys. But have a good one.